Hello, I do apologize that this video has taken so long for me to do. I have been so busy, but some of you all have been asking me how I can take this brown paper bag and turn it into a pumpkin. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the steps for you. I am not a professional YouTuber. I'm not really great with videos, so editing won't happen, but I will get you all the steps and make it quick. Feel free to fast forward to the parts that you don't need. But in order to make a pumpkin out of the brown paper bag, you'll need some brown paper lunch sacks. I would say you can get any lunch sack. I don't necessarily recommend maybe the cheapest ones from the dollar store because the paper rips, but you want to have a nice, good quality lunch sack. And then you want to have some pipe cleaners in fall colors, green, brown, even orange pipe cleaners, okay? You want some sort of pencil or pen because you're using this for a frame. And then you need some nice scrap paper like newspaper. I'm using some old discarded paper that we use to stuff the pumpkin. And then you will need your orange paint and green paint. So with that, I'm going to show you just the basic steps to get you started. And of course, I will forget my scissors. Close this door. Okay, apologize about that. So, I have to keep checking behind me because I want to make sure I'm in the frame. So here you have your brown paper lunch sack, okay? Now, lunch sack, some good old rubber bands here. If you notice on the lunch sack, this little part right here, okay? You see that? All right, now do you see the line right across here? This line is where we're going to cut because we want to cut just the end of the bag off. So I kind of fold it over and I'm going to cut right along here. Okay. All right, so I've cut off the bottom of my bag, and of course when you open it you're like, wah. All right, so now what we're gonna do is, you want some decent rubber bands. Try not to get anything that's dry rotted or too old because it's frustrating if the rubber band breaks when you're in the middle of doing this. For those of you who are into therapeutic activities and therapeutic recreation or special education, this activity can apply to a lot of things that can help with goals or IEPs, things with fine motor, working on anger management, following directions. So it's a really good therapeutic activity that has a purpose. So once you've cut off the bottom of the bag, you want to gather it up like as if you're making a ponytail on baby hair. Those newborn babies, they just have a little bit of hair. They just have enough for a little barrette. Okay, so I'm gathering it up. And just remind yourself that it's paper. You're more powerful than it. So just the very end of the bag, we're just making that little, we're just bringing it, mushing it together. Okay? See that? Okay, so I've mushed together the bag, and now I've got my rubber band. Now, my rubber bands were kind of large, so I folded it in half, but I'm just gonna put the rubber band around the tip of the little ponytail there. So I'm going around and around, and I wanna make sure it's not gonna slip off. You want it on the tip, but not so it'll fall off, okay? So now I have the rubber band on the bag. Now, this is the thing. How are you going to get your bottom of your pumpkin, to look like that? How do you get it like that? Well, this has to go inside out. How do you do it without ripping it? Well, there's a way. Okay, you just want to hold it in your hand like so. Okay, you just hold on. Whoops. You're holding to the rubber band right here, okay? So what you do is just take your other hand and slowly take your time and press the bag down your hand, and it will slowly turn inside out. Now, do they rip? Sometimes they do, but if you take your time, Another therapeutic thing, if you're working on someone who doesn't have patience or anxiety, patience. Just taking your time slowly and it won't rip. You can do a beautiful job if you move slow, but if you go fast, you can rip it. Now, if you rip it, get the Scotch tape. It's not gonna make a big deal, okay? All right, so here we go with this, turning it inside out. All right, so now that I've got my bag inside out, that's gonna be the bottom of my pumpkin, okay? So I like to smooth it out. So I made, and I don't know if I can get this so you can see this. Here, let me go back a little bit. But I like to smooth it out. So I may press it against the table. Let's see if you can see if I go right here. Okay, so I'm pressing it out, just smoothing the bottom of, getting the wrinkles out. Okay, so then it looks like this little bowl here, okay? You see, that's gonna be the bottom of the pumpkin. Okay, so now here's the anger management part. If you have newspaper, tear it into squares, and you wanna ball up the paper one sheet at a time. I have some old bingo cards that we are no longer using, so I don't wanna throw these away. So if it's newspaper, rip it in half and just ball it up. I mean, there's nothing like, you get upset, you want to crumple up some paper and throw it, just crumple it up, throw it in there. And this is really easy to do. Let's say you work on a unit, like a memory unit, and you want easy one-step things that people can do. They can ball up this paper and put it in the little bag. Here, see, I'm just putting my balls in here. Now, how much paper should you add? That all depends on how full you want it. Just make sure that you're balling up individual single sheets of paper, because if the paper is too bulky, it'll be hard to manipulate and shape the pumpkin. So I'm just gonna take another sheet and ball it up and put it in here. And when you have the desired, I gotta stay in the frame, I'm sorry. I'm looking in the TV behind me. Let's try right here. Okay, let's see. Let me see if I can lower this a little bit so you can see the table. Okay, so here we go. So if you look into my bag right here, make sure I'm still taping. Okay, good. You want to stuff it, but you want to leave enough space so you can make another ponytail at the top of your pumpkin. Here's one that doesn't have any tops, okay? So you want it to look full, but you want to just leave just a little bit to close it. So sometimes you may start gathering up your bag, and you may want to put more paper in. It all depends on how you like it. And here we go. All right, so I've just balled up my bag. Boom, it's already looking like a pumpkin already. Now I'm gonna take a second rubber band. Okay, this one is too big, so I'm gonna fold it in half, and I'm gonna close up my little ponytail right here. See if you can see that. Okay, so I'm putting it around there. And working on the grip. If you're working with someone with disabilities, you may help them a little bit with this process, but it's okay to let them give it a try and practice those tasks, and get that exercise for their hands. Okay, so there's mine. I'm actually gonna take my rubber band off and do it again because I want a little bit more at the top. I want a little bit more stem. So I'm gonna just make mine a little tighter. So I am closing up. Here we go. Get a little more stem here. All right, here we go. All right, so there we go. Now, I don't have time to go through all the other steps, but they're very simple. Basically, you need any orange paint, a tempera paint. You could use an acrylic paint. This is one that I made using a white lunch bag. Now, personally, I like the brown paper bag because it looks rustic. It has that pumpkin, you go to the store and no two look alike kind of thing. But if you use a white bag, it's gonna look a lot brighter. And what you do is, some of the residents help me paint these. You're just gonna hold it. If you're working with people with disabilities, if they can hold it like this, that's really good, and then they can paint with the other hand. If they need to put it down, they can, but I usually like to let them go ahead and hold it and get the bottom out of the way, so that way they won't just have to pick it up later. And then the top right here, you just want to paint the little stem here green, and then around the pumpkin, you know how some pumpkins have a little cap right there? You may want to just paint, you know, green right there. And then you'll have your pumpkin. Now, for the little squigglies on here, your little stems, you can do a stem any way you want. If you want to cut out some leaves, maybe you find a pattern online, you'll cut out a leaf, that's fine. I like to take a couple cute pipe cleaners. So I've got this green one, and I just take a simple pencil. When you buy pipe cleaners, they're normally this size. I cut these in half. So if you get the regular size pipe cleaners, you want to cut them in half. Okay, if you want them longer, you can go longer. So I take the pipe cleaner and I just gonna wrap it around like that. Wrap it around, wrap it around. Okay, nice and tight. This is a good exercise if you're working with someone with maybe dementia or memory. They can do that, and then you just slide it off the pencil and stretch it, and then you got a little squiggly. Now, how you put it on is up to you. You may want to tuck it in the rubber band. Sometimes I will take another pipe cleaner and just kind of wrap, I don't know if it's hard to see that, sorry. Wrap the tip around there like that. Okay, but there's many ways you can attach your pipe cleaner. There's no one way. These types of crafts, people modify it that works for them. You may not want pipe cleaner. You may say, I have some leaves or some stickers or something, and I'm gonna put that on there. So I'm doing the second one here. Here you go. I've wrapped the pipe cleaner around. Okay, slide it off. And I probably should have filmed this video like that, but oh well. So I got my pipe cleaner. And I'm gonna actually just attach this to the other pipe cleaner. You could tuck it in your rubber band if you want, but you can get a second rubber band. I'm just gonna do this, okay? So I got that on there. I just bend it around nice and tight. And this is after your paint has dried. So I would wait to put your pipe cleaner on until after the paint has dried. Then you can just put this on there and wrap it around and tuck it. And then that's like your little pumpkin stems. Now, one thing about this activity, I've loved it for the last 20 years. I had a lady that showed me at Chicago Park District 20 years ago, and I have done it every fall since. It's the activity that keeps on getting. First, it starts off as a craft project. Sometimes you can put little surprises in them, and you can give them away, play games with them, and inside there can be something special in there. Also, I like to take large brown paper shopping bags and decorate them for fall, and then I put prizes in each one of the bags, and we toss them, so whatever bag the pumpkin goes into, they can reach in and grab a prize out of that bag. So it's the gift that keeps on giving. And if they're just made out of paper, and Thanksgiving is over and you've used it for Halloween, Thanksgiving, fall, throw it in the fireplace and let it be a fire starter for you if it's all paper, okay? Don't burn your gifts up. All right, so that is how to make your paper bag pumpkin. Thank you so much for being patient. I had been really busy, hadn't had a time to upload a video, and I have never really uploaded an instructional video before. So I hope I did well. I know my first mistake was I should have made the camera this way, and I shouldn't keep looking across over there to see where I'm going. But have a wonderful day and enjoy your fall crafts.